viewers, welcome to another game with Casual Pro Gamer. Today we are doing a match between Taro as the Zerg in the top left and AFI Survive as the Terran player in the bottom right. So Terran versus Zerg, this should be interesting because there are many strategies that you can actually go for. Zerg normally reacts to the build of the Terran but is the aggressor. So yeah, kind of a difficult matchup to predict because, well, the Zerg normally starts off with Zerglings and Banelings. Well, normally with Zerglings, and then if the Terran player goes for Marines and Marauders, well, especially Marines, then we will see Banelings. If they go for Marauders or tanks or something like that, we will normally see those Roaches. And Roaches are, of course, extremely good against the tanks. And especially if they have Burrow, but most Zerg players do not upgrade that because, well, if you just battle them straight up, they're good enough. Of course, Terran does have that scan available, so they do have the arsenal to deal with hidden units, but it does not mean that well, they're super effective against them. So a little bit of harassment trying to go off there by the drone, but yeah, he didn't really get enough damage done to kill the SCV. He did lose his drone though, so I'm guessing that he just sent it out in the hopes of doing something with it, but it didn't really work out for him. So as you can see, we do have a base coming up, so a fast expand there. But no spawning pool yet. He does have to mine a little bit more. Already building the extractor before the spawning pool, and that could actually cost him a little bit because normally we want that spawning pool out as soon as possible to get the queens out, and of course to get some Zerglings out to take these watchtowers and just be safe. But yeah, this is a pretty big map, so you might want to well, keep that into consideration when making up your build. Yeah, for the rest, we see kind of the standard thing, the barracks coming out. We are going for a factory, and with the full wall off, that means that the Zerg player will have to fly an Overlord over here to actually spot this factory. And his Overlord is on the other side for the moment. The other one is still far, far out. And yeah, this is where the sneakiness comes in from, well, the game itself. So Starcraft, in Starcraft you can make builds that are kind of sneaky, that you hide behind your well, your entrance. Of course, Zerg is the best one to actually scout those kind of builds because they have Flying Overlord for free. Well, they're not actually free, but the first one is free. The first one you just get because you play Zerg. And yeah, we will see the switch going on, so now you can actually scout it at the entrance. And we will be going for the mech unit. So as I said, this means that normally we should go for Roaches, but obviously it's really early to go for Roaches. The spawning pool is up, the queens should be coming up. Yep, the queens are coming. And we are going to just, well, build some more workers. We are building the metabolic boosts, which is the speed upgrade for the Zerglings. And obviously that is very useful. So all in all, the Zerglings are going to come out. They are going to go to the bottom base and they are going to meet these Hellions that are coming up. So they should have seen that. Oh, what are you doing? Why are you chasing the Hellions? Oh my god, the Queen should handle the Hellions. And of course, yeah, this kind of defense, the spine crawlers are really good against that. But he needs to run his drones away from this. Losing one of them. He's going to lose the second one there. But losing two is not too much of a problem. It is, however, well, key to this for this play to hold off until the spine crawler is done, and then to make sure that he has enough to actually, well, prevent the run-in to the enemy or to the main base, because yeah, if the Hellions are allowed to run into the main base, yeah, he is kind of screwed. So he needs to position, well, at least this queen, the queen from this hatchery over here, and probably both of them, but he only has two queens, and that is the advantage of having three queens out. You can actually block the ramp with two of them, and then run them out to, well, spread the larvae or spawn the larvae on one of your hatcheries. We are going Ghost here. Wow, is he going for a nuke? Currently he has a nuke up, and this should be interesting. I do not have the sound on, so I might actually miss the nuke, but we're going to just focus on this guy. Well, not actually focus, but I will see the nuke disappearing, and then I will try to find him again. I think I can focus on him at some point. But yeah, a nuke rush here coming out. That is interesting stuff, because, well, the Zerg player doesn't really have anything to detect this. And that means that, well, he can be quite screwed. The Ghost is coming in. He doesn't have personal cloaking field upgraded yet. As you can see, there is no cloak. There is a nuke going down now, and it's not going to take out anything. Maybe this queen will get damaged, but it is not going to be super effective for now. Oh no, what are you doing? Oh my god. Okay, he did take out some creep tumors, but those are free, so it doesn't really matter. And of course, yeah, running in your entire drone line because you can't find the nuke spot, that is kind of a mistake. You need to just look around your bases. Well, you need to build an overseer at this point. Because once you see the first nuke going down, you know he has Ghost, you know he probably has that personal cloaking field, although he didn't have that yet. And the personal cloaking, yeah, it's going to take a while to actually upgrade. Because, yeah, you don't really have the minerals and the gas for it to upgrade it straight away. So he went for that a little bit later and actually got his first nuke off successfully without doing anything. So his second nuke should be coming up. I'm assuming he keeps on doing this. But nukes are only 100 to 100, so they're not really expensive. They don't need to do a whole lot, and this first one was definitely worth it. He took out a number of... Wow, why doesn't this ghost get the kills? Is it another ghost? Are there two ghosts? There probably are. So anyhow, yeah, he took out about 5 drones, which and a bunch of creep tumors, but as I said, the creep tumors don't really matter. Yeah, they only need to take out about 200 minerals worth of stuff, and well, every drone is about 75 minerals. So that's 375 that you that you just gained for 100 investment, so about 200 resources. Gas is a little bit more expensive resource-wise than minerals are, because minerals, yeah, you can get pretty much for free. So the gas is a little bit more expensive, or you should count a little more minerals for that, but yeah, you should kill a little more minerals for that, I guess. But all in all, the nukes are normally used to break siege positions. So if the Zerg player just completely walls himself off with all kinds of units, you just nuke that front part, and then you rush in after the nuke goes down, because either they retreat their army, which is good for you because then you can just move in, or they get nuked and, well, you destroy their army. So it's the same deal. For you, it's the same deal. But yeah, if a nuke doesn't get scouted, or, well, rather, if the ghost doesn't get taken out, you can do quite a lot of damage with it. Of course, multiple nukes in the same spot do stack, so you do have, well, better nuking power with multiple nukes. And he does have 2 ghosts here, and the ghosts do have the personal cloaking now. We are going to just sit back a little bit. Yeah, he's going for all kinds of mechanical units, so the Widow Mines, they should be burrowing here, and they are going to burrow. One of them gets taken down, but the rest is going to fire on these... oh, all of them get taken down. Sorry about that. The Overseer actually was there. The shots did go off, so that's why he lost quite a few. And wow, the snipe's just so good. Yeah, the early nuke rush wasn't super worth it so far, but yeah, there goes the next nuke. These nukes are not showing up like this for the Zerg player, by the way, just so we're clear. The nuke, well, you see this when you're a Terran player. But if you're the Zerg player, you only see a little red dot on the map And you have to be really quick to find it because it's pretty hard to find. And as you can see, the ghosts are doing pretty well. They're still alive. They took out 8 of the drones, which is excellent. And we currently killed 23 drones. Look at that. That is an insane amount. And actually taking out the base here, no problem, no problem. Because with a few units and a nuke, you can do that. You can do that, no problem. So, don't know how many nukes he had up, but well, so far the nukes have been pretty effective. Currently he has 0 nukes up. They're not coming up either. So he's going to wait a little bit. And of course he is going to get them back up. Both of the ghosts still alive. And well, they should really drop here because they can just heal up and then get back in. But hey, whatever. We are going in with some Hellions, going to drop some Hellions into the main base, and if you can take out this line of drones here, that should be very successful. Of course he should have come in over here because most of the Zerg players have some scouts over here, and we will have to see if he can actually react to this because there is no one here to defend. Only the Queen is defending. And that should not be very effective, and it's not going to be. Look at the drones taken out. Oh my god, going for Hydralisks here. Yeah, Hydralisks in combination with Roaches. The Roaches are still pretty good, but he needs to take out those ghosts. And the ghosts are, of course, well, the only way to take them out really is to have a detector, Spore Crawler or an Overseer, and to have something with it that can actually kill it. But Hydralisks not very good because they get sniped pretty easily. Snipe, one of the abilities, of course, of the ghost. And here it goes, another nuke going down, and I'm not actually sure if I missed one by now, but the ghost might actually die here, by the way, because it is pretty close. Yeah, he did take all of that damage himself. But yeah, he's still healthy enough. It's no problem. Oh, no! Just kill the drones! Oh, just because the nuke is done doesn't mean you can't snipe drones. Yeah, so once you launch a nuke, yeah, you don't get it back. So even if you cancel it, even if your drone gets, your ghost gets killed, yeah, you don't get it back. That was my general thing. He's going to reposition his Spore Crawler and his Spine Crawler now. This is of course a good combination. They can't get nuked. Well, they can get nuked, but they just don't take enough damage from the nuke to actually die. So it takes multiple nukes to kill them, and therefore it is a good defense. So you can't just nuke it and be done with it, so and then walk in and nuke the base. No, you have to nuke them multiple times. And even then, if you set up multiple layers of a combination of that, in combination with your army, of course, you should be able to do pretty well against the nukes. But here you see the Marauders coming in, and the Marauders are very good, obviously, against the Hydralisks. I mean, you can see how good they are. They just clean up completely because they don't take as much damage. The Hydralisks, of course, are well, flat damage units, just like the Marauders, by the way. Well, against the Hydras, I guess. No, the Marauders do extra damage against armored units. That's why they're so good against, well, Roaches and such. But the Roaches are very good against the Marauders because, well, they take less damage. Because every armored unit takes less damage, and that's why the Hydralisks do less damage to the Marauders. And of course, well, they're light, so they're not armored, which means that yeah, you don't get that extra damage. Obviously, the Marauders are great against any armored unit, but yeah, the Roaches and Marauders, I guess, yeah, Roaches are built to counter the Marauders, but Marauders are built to counter the Roaches, so they're equally good at that point. But if you combine that with another unit, with another type of unit, so like, I don't know, Marines or Zerglings, then you can actually do very well against them, because if they don't focus, if the Roaches don't focus if the Marauders don't focus the Roaches will win. If the Roaches don't focus the Marauders will win. So it's all about the micro at that point, and yeah, well, that's exactly what we saw in that team fight. There was not enough damage to go down, and the Roaches all went down first. So that was kind of a mistake, because obviously he's much better against the Hydralisks. Plus the Hydralisks do way more damage. They attack way faster than the Roaches. Roaches take way longer to reload, and they do less damage. So well, they do less damage per second, I should say. But well, all in all, the Zerglings, of course, are very useful at all times, and we will have to see if or what is going on here. So the Widowmine actually got to shoot there. Wow, it damaged 3 units only, so it's not too bad. But well, he does have that as a weapon burrowed across the map. It's a little bit of a scout, I guess. And now he was just scanning to see what's going on. So a little bit of a drop. Not a real big drop, obviously, but he is going to be able to take out this building, I think, because, yeah, well, they are Marauders. Yeah, all 3 of them survive. They are Marauders. Marauders take less damage from Zerglings, and because, well, Zerglings are based on low damage plus high attack speed, well, you reduce that damage by quite a significant amount, because, well, the 5 damage gets reduced by the amount of armor you have, and Marauders are armor 2 or something like that, so it gets reduced from 5 to 3, which is a 40% reduction. And it doesn't matter how often you attack, because it's still a 40% reduction. On the other hand, if you watch the Roaches, and that's why Roaches are great against Marauders, or are built against Marauders, they do 18 damage, minus 2 is still 16, so that's still a pretty decent amount. And the percentage, well, the percentage of that, so the 2 and 18 is about 11%, so yeah, that's not a really big amount compared to the 40%. So you still reduce the damage, but only by a small amount. Well, 11% is still worth it. But anyhow, we do have an orbital command up here, an orbital command up here. So the Terran player really doing well with his bases. He has 4 bases versus 3 here. And of course the 3 bases should not be able to survive for very long. Because of those drops, he really has to keep his army up close and personal with his bases. And yeah, he scouts here, seeing that there is nothing there. And because of that, he is 1 base ahead. So he didn't actually populate this base yet. So all of these SCVs should of course just transfer over to the new base. But they're here sitting doing nothing. And well, they are mining over here because he just flew his command center away. And yeah, the refineries are not done yet. You might want to just, well, mine the entire refinery, or, well, Vespine Geyser, and then replace your drones to the next, well, reposition your drones to the next base. Anyhow, yeah, we have a pretty significant army out here, but, well, he is, or he took quite a bit of damage from that, yeah, those early attacks. 37 worker skill total, and, oh, hang on, this one was the one that I wanted. Army supply is pretty much equal. Worker supply is a little bit ahead for the Zerg player, because the Terran player, even though he's ahead, as I said, he didn't populate that last base yet. And actually, the follow-up therefore not really good. He had a great early game, and Hydralisks should do very well against these Marines, but yeah, obviously not against the tanks. They took a 1 tank shot, I believe, and actually retreated straight away. So Mutalisk coming out now. I have to feel that this is, yeah, a little bit too diversified of an army. Diversifying your army is normally good, but you have to realize that if the army of the enemy is not as diverse as yours, you're probably not going to have as much of your strength units against that army. So there is a drop coming in of just some Marines. The Marines can do a lot of damage, especially if they get stimmed. And we'll have to see if that is actually the case. He is going to drop out right here. No, he's going to just get killed. All of those Marines just dying inside of the medevac. And there's really nothing he could do about that. Well, he could have just dropped them straight off. If he dropped them over here, he would have at least had a fighting chance with his Marines. Another drop going down over here, but a great defense this time by the Zerg player. And this is not over yet. I mean, the armies are pretty much equal. The Zerg player currently has some gold or some minerals and gas in the bank, which is generally not good. But just saying that. The income is still ahead for the Zerg player, even though the Terran player has this base up and has 4 bases against 3. But now, well, we have the 4th base coming up. He needs a 5th base though. He needs a 5th base to actually get the amount of income that he needs to defeat this Terran army, because the Terran blob here is starting to become pretty big. And that, of course, is quite a big problem here for our Zerg player, because he can't really go up against this. And he's not spreading his creep. He needs to spread those creep tumors way more, because getting that creep up to your opponent's base is just excellent to have. The Zelnaga tower still not taken, even though, well, if he took that, he would have seen this army and he would have been able to just to know what the army was. The banelings are all just trapped behind the rest of the army. They do detonate on the right side, but here they're still just doing nothing. And he should just take out this base now. Yeah, there's really nothing that the Terran player can do about that. So many Hydralisks. The Hydralisks really are good against a lot of things. They're just, if they meet up with the tanks or with a large group of Marauders, they get taken out. And that is the way it is. Currently we're producing some Zerglings only, and he needs to build more. He needs to just build more units. So yeah, the nuke rush didn't actually work out because of the bad follow-up. He didn't actually build enough workers. Hang on, we can see that somewhere. I know we can. I'm not actually familiar with all of the with all of everything. Yeah, you can see here 23 workers, and he only killed 13. So he never had enough workers to begin with. And that, of course, is the problem. You need to build those workers. You need to have like 60 workers, 60 to 100 workers, depending on which race you are and, well, what you feel like doing. So, I don't know if the Terran player actually left. I'm assuming he did. But the Zerg player is not ready yet to surrender or to, well, just get out of the base, the game. He just wants to destroy this entire base, which is fine. So anyway, Nuke Rush kind of failed, but yeah, it was fun to watch at least. So anyway, hope you enjoyed, and I will see you next time. GG.